Robertson. The crowd hoots and hollers at Patera. He has a small case of rabbit ears. I don't think he minds turning around and staying by the ropes. Look at him staying next to the ropes. He's not too anxious to come out to the center of the ring where Robertson's high-flying aerial tactics are that much more effective. Patera and Robertson prepare to lock up. A test of strength. This should be the forte for Patera. Oh, Robertson, strong as he is, gets in a little trouble, but now he tries to turn it around. Patera still with the edge, but Dewey, keeping his feet, goes down to his knees.
5 minutes have expired, 10 minutes left.
Come on, boy, yells Ken Patera to Dewey Robertson. Look at those muscles bulge in the arm, the veins and the muscles in the arms of both Patera and Robertson. Hey, Robertson coming back. Dewey Robertson coming back, and this crowd begins to scream. No question who this audience is for. Oh, monkey flip is backfired. The monkey flip backfires thanks to a beautiful move by Robertson. Drop kick. Down goes Patera. A second drop kick by Robertson. And Patera bails out. How about that Dewey Robertson? Patera tried what would have been a brilliant move, the monkey flip. But Robertson ducked down, used his hips to block the monkey flip, and Patera was then on the receiving end of a couple of drop kicks. Ken has a chair he's threatening to bring into the ring. He slams that down in frustration. Ken Patera is finding out now that the cliche is true. Uneasy as the head that wears the crown. Because Dewey Robertson is fired up, and he has been making life a little miserable for Patera, but Patera can never be counted out. He is tough, and he is mean. Make note, Kerry Von Erich. Make note of both of these men, whoever is in charge of the Missouri title after this match. Patera just riveted Robertson into those turnbuckles. Patera trying to punish the back. He lifts Robertson, drives his knee into the lower back of Dewey Robertson. Patera going for a pin, barely a count of one. Elbow drop into the back by Ken Patera on Dewey Robertson. Patera grabs the hair of Robertson. The referee cautions him to let go. Patera moving behind Robertson, lifts him to the air. Atomic knee drop, jamming the tailbone right into the knee. Patera covers Robertson. Robertson has his foot on the bottom rope. And Patera is incensed. He's irate. Robertson using his head. He knew where he was in the ring. That's such a key factor for any top wrestler. He knew where he was, but now he's caught in a bear hug by one of the strongest men in the world today, Ken Patera. Patera squeezing with that bear hug on the already battered back, but Robertson gets free. Patera bangs the knee into the back of Robertson. Dewey falling into some trouble. Patera working that back over. Again, the bear hug by Patera. Look where his head is. He gets the head underneath the arm, and he'll try to keep it there so that Robertson cannot punish his ears. Patera squeezing, the first man ever to lift more than 500 pounds overhead. Makes you wonder about Crusher Blackwell, doesn't it? There's a guy who comes in around 480 pounds, and we've heard him claim that he cannot be body slammed. Maybe Patera be the guy to try it. Oh, Patera rushed Robertson, and Robertson caught him with a backflip. The crowd here is in an uproar as Robertson and Patera go at it hot and heavy, but again, Patera is able to clamp on the bear hug. We speak about Crusher Blackwell. Don't go away, because Crusher Blackwell, all 482 pounds, will be making his debut on Wrestling at the Chase very shortly. He's on the day's lineup. You've got to see him to believe him. 482 pounds, and he can deliver drop kicks. In fact, we even saw him do a drop toe hold once. That is amazing for someone of that size. He is amazing. Robertson putting pressure against the chin of Ken Patera, and now trying to slide his arm inside that bear hug. If he can get inside, and if he can break the grip, he might be able to do something. He's inside. The elbow's underneath the elbow of Patera. He comes out with a hip toss. by Dewey Robertson. Patera kicks Robertson away. Patera is no slouch. Patera attacks from behind on Robertson with the forearm. That was a legal blow. Robertson arm whipped. Oh, and Robertson comes off with a knee lift while Patera was waiting with the back flip. Robertson covers Patera. Try for a pin before Patera's shoulders are up. A knee into the rib cage by Patera. Second knee, that one underneath the chin. Robertson stunned. Forearm smash to the head. Robertson fighting back.
10 minutes have elapsed, 5 minutes left.
5 minutes remain. The Missouri State Championship on the line as Ken Patera defends the throne against Dewey Robertson. Robertson has the leg. He kicks Patera in the knee. Spreads the legs. Robertson to the air. Oh, right into the hamstring muscles. Dropping his own knees into the hamstrings on both sides of Ken Patera. Double knee stomp against the ears. Patera down. Robertson covers. Count of one. Count of two. And just at two, Patera shoves Robertson off. Patera has run into a buzzsaw named Dewey Robertson. Patera with a headbutt to the stomach. Oh, a chop to the throat, right to the windpipe. I don't know if it was with the inside of the hand or with the extended fingers. It was hard to tell from this vantage point, but it certainly was effective. You don't have to give Patera much of an opening. An inch is as good as 10 inches as far as he's concerned. Any little opening and Patera will take advantage. He tells the referee that he's using the hand, and that's questionable probably. Oh, Robertson blocked that thrust into the corner, and he grabbed Patera's head, but Patera fights right back. And now Patera and Robertson toe-to-toe. Robertson getting the better of it. Patera staggering, and down he goes before Robertson can throw another punch. Oh, Robertson stops right on the head of the Missouri State champion. Robertson working with the boots across the face of Patera. Patera crawling to the ropes. A knee drop to the neck, another knee to the neck, a third knee to the neck of Ken Patera by Dewey Robertson. And the crowd stands and applauds for Robertson. What a tremendous effort by Robertson as he tries to oust Ken Patera as the Missouri State ruler.
3 minutes left, 3 minutes.
Robertson catches Patera in the abdominal stretch. The abdominal stretch by Robertson on Patera. If Patera gives up, that Missouri title belt is going to Dewey Robertson. Patera grabbing for the hair, now pulling up the bottom leg. And a hip toss by Patera breaks the abdominal stretch of Dewey Robertson. That was pure muscle there. The muscle certainly does help. Oh, there's Patera with the full Nelson. Can he swing it? Can he make it a swinging neck breaker? Robertson pulls himself to the ropes and bounces the head of Patera into the top turnbuckle. Dewey Robertson showing us a lot. Even Mickey Garagiola shaking his head in admiration for Dewey Robertson. He is giving Patera a battle. Running body slam by Robertson. This could be it. Count of 1, 2. Patera shoves off Robertson. I see some blood from the shoulder of Patera. He suffered a skinned shoulder and blood is trickling down the arm and the shoulder of Ken Patera. Oh, beautiful move by Patera. This could be it. He front rolling cradle and Robertson just gets free at the count of 2. Side headlock by Patera. He's thrown away by Robertson. Oh! Robertson's head forward. They collide. Patera trying to keep his balance. Down he goes. Patera, I see Patera. He's bleeding from the forehead too. A cut across the forehead of Ken Patera. Patera has a scrape on his shoulder. He has a bloody forehead. And he throws a punch at Dewey Robertson. Patera still hanging in there. You think this man is easy to take the Missouri State title away from? You're kidding yourself if you think that. Because Patera is as tough and strong and well-rounded an athlete as there is in any sport anywhere.
1 minute left. 1 minute left.
1 minute remaining. Patera missed with the elbow drop. Robertson sees Patera down there. Giant splash. He covers Patera. Count of 1. Count of 2. And Patera gets the shoulder up. Bloody but unbowed Ken Patera, just refusing to break as Robertson tries to take the Missouri crown away from him. Patera gouging the eyes of Robertson. Time running out. Robertson has to turn it on. As far as Patera is concerned, a draw is as good as a win because the Missouri crown stays with him. A smash to the back of Dewey Robertson. Patera lifts Robertson. Falling body slam by Patera. He covers the challenger. Down to 2 and Robertson gets away. Both men having their chances in this fantastic battle. Each man has had the opportunity to put the other away and just missed. Robertson with a punch to the stomach. A back rolling cradle by Robertson, but Patera's in the ropes. There'll be no pin here. There's the bell. The time limit has expired. So the match is a draw, but of course that means that Ken Patera retains the Missouri title. Not that Dewey Robertson didn't give Patera everything he could handle. Well, let's make it official, and let's hear from Mickey Garagiola.
This is a 15-minute time limit draw. Ken Patera retains the Missouri State Champion and title belt.
It was a star-studded lineup on Wrestling at the Chase for August 23rd, 1981. This demonstrates exactly why St. Louis Wrestling was so special.
Harley Race renews his rivalry with David Von Erich on Wrestling at the Chase today. Hello, I'm Larry Matisic, and yes, you heard right. It's Harley Race versus David Von Erich on this program. Of course, you know the feud between Harley Race and the entire Von Erich family dates back a couple of years. Bad blood has sprung up between Kerry Von Erich and Harley Race, and today, David Von Erich versus Harley Race. That's one to stick around for. Mickey Garagiola will introduce the opening bout right after this.
Welcome to Wrestling at the Chase, the opening bout, A1 fall with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing from Albuquerque, New Mexico, weighing 240 pounds, Gil Guerrero. From Indianapolis, Indiana, weighing 236 pounds, Spike Hubert. Referee Ed Warren.
Spike Huber takes on Gil Guerrero, the curtain raiser today on Wrestling at the Chase. Huber sidesteps the wild rush of Gil Guerrero. Guerrero nearly went through those ropes and ended up in the first row. Guerrero shoved aside again. Arm drag by Spike Huber. Guerrero charges off the ropes. Flying tackle. That one scored. Huber waiting. Hip toss. Guerrero blocks it. Hip toss of his own. Huber kicks out. Arm drag. Fast action. And Spike Huber comes up on top with an arm lock. The crowd liked it. And they like Spike Huber. They like his speed. They like his stick-to-itiveness, I guess you'd call it. They like his courage. He will take on anyone. Never fails to give less than 110%. Once more, the arm drag paid off there for Spike Huber. Spike goes into the double wrist lock on Gil Guerrero. Good takedown by Gil Guerrero on Spike Huber. Arm drag. Spike's strong, I'll tell you. It's more than just an arm drag if Spike can really get the leverage behind it. He whips those guys over, almost like a bullwhip. Cracks them right down on that mat. Guerrero tried to duck underneath the fireman's carry. Huber blocked it. Tries to ride Guerrero into the backslide. He knows he's close to the ropes, and he simply hasn't got the space to put that backslide on. But if nothing else, Huber saved himself one hard bounce by blocking the fireman's carry. Nice takedown by Spike. Guerrero seems a bit puzzled by the whole thing. Now he smiles. Maybe he's found a weakness in the armor of Spike Huber. Maybe he thinks he can fool Spike Huber into thinking he's going to be easy. He won't. Guarantee you that. Clean break by Gil Guerrero. So far, both grapplers have stuck to their knitting. Huber and Guerrero end up in the corner. Ed Warren wants a break. Me and my big mouth. So much for clean breaks. Warren whip into the corner by Gil Guerrero. Guerrero pounds on Huber. Ed Warren stops Guerrero and tells him to let Huber out of that corner. Good work by Ed Warren. Huber goes up on the second rope. He didn't take the turnbuckles. Guerrero charges it angrily. Arm drag! Spike Huber staying in control. As soon as Guerrero started that arm whip across the ring, Huber took a second's thought. Maybe it was instinct. Maybe it's that computer mind that you have to have inside a wrestling ring. Controlled his momentum as he went across the ring, leaped right up on the turnbuckle. Didn't hurt him at all, and he was ready and waiting when Guerrero, angered that his move did not pay off, came charging in. Guerrero cannot escape the clutches of Spike Huber. It's a hammerlock now by Huber. Guerrero first must get to his feet if he intends to counter this hold. That's why Huber's leaning into his back. Huber yanks over, snapping the arm. Huber pulls the arm up along the back of Gil Guerrero. Now Spike hooks his calf against the chin of Guerrero. Ed Warren checks that it's not on the windpipe. It isn't. Spike might be able to roll Guerrero over into a pinning position here. Hooks that arm, getting Guerrero just one shoulder over, but then the other shoulder pops up. Spike has to settle for an arm lock. Hip toss counter by Gil Guerrero. Well done by Guerrero. Huber was a real fine high school athlete, both in football and amateur wrestling. And of course, then he began to date Dick the Bruiser's daughter and came under the influence of the Bruiser. Dick taught him all the good and the bad that there can be in professional wrestling. Spike knew the good parts. He knows about the money. He knows about the crowd response, having the people cheering for you and appreciating your efforts. He knows the thrill it is to be up in that ring, come up with a victory. And he knows the bad parts too, the lonely nights on the road, living out of a suitcase, all the bumps and bruises, having to get in that ring with a broken finger, with cracked ribs. No insurance for these guys, knowing about all the problems. You're your own travel agent. Nobody makes those arrangements for you. The recent air controllers strike, really the one thing that hasn't put a crimp into is wrestling, because the wrestlers have put in the time and the effort that's necessary to handle a predicament and handle it very well. Most recent card that Sam Muchnick had, there was not a single substitution, yet 10 men had to fly in. Jack Briscoe had all sort of problems getting out of Florida. Dick Murdoch had trouble getting out of New Orleans, but they managed to book enough flights for all the cancellations and the changes that they made it here. They're pros. That's
5 minutes have expired, 5 minutes left.
no crying, no complaining. They did what was expected of them. Guerrero tries to come to his feet. It's still Spike Huber concentrating his attack on the left arm of Guerrero. Now Spike hooks the head into the hold. Ed Warren doing some very fine alert work. He was right in to check the throat. Side saddle suplex by Spike Huber. Call it a salto, if you will. That's how they know it in Europe. Front face lock now by Spike Huber on Guerrero. Once more, the referee right in to check that chin. It's clean. Guerrero complains he's choking. Warren finds out that's not true because his hand fit right over the throat. The pressure's up on the chin and the jaw. Guerrero bounced over the top by Huber. Guerrero taking a close look at Spike Huber. Huber has looked very sharp so far, but Guerrero has made his share of good moves too. There's a wrist lock by Gil Guerrero on Huber. Spike can muscle out of it. He has the power. You can imagine all the hours in a gym pumping iron Spike Huber has done. Instead he goes a little finesse, rolls out underneath. Goes to the legs of Guerrero. Guerrero ducked back and smiled at Huber as though to say, not this time, boy. You're not getting my ankle.
Wait, man. Oh, Albuquerque was right there.
Just like Mickey Garagiola, a wrestler comes after him in that ring. He's agile, nimble, but not hostile.
Thanks a lot.
Nah, Mickey, you're a lover, not a fighter. We know that. Ed Warren checking the shoulders of Gil Guerrero. Guerrero scoots underneath the ropes. Why expend the energy necessary to get out of that hold when the ropes were right nearby? Once more, Guerrero and Huber tie up, and Guerrero pulls Huber forward into a side headlock.
3 minutes left, 3 minutes.
Guerrero tosses Huber down to the mat. Once more, Warren right in there, watching the shoulders. Huber muscling his way up. That's all strength coming up. Guerrero wasn't making it easy. He was trying to lean into the neck. Yeah, Huber has the same problem again because Guerrero put him right back down on the canvas. Spike trying to turn over. Wants to get in a standing position. It's always easier to counter from that position, obviously. Down he goes a third time. Guerrero going for a body press. Knowing time's getting a little short, and he might be able to catch Huber by surprise after the bounce. Huber pitches Guerrero away. Both men hit the ropes. Huber ducks. Huber waiting. Lifts Guerrero in the air. Here comes the airplane spin by Spike Huber. The airplane spin. Round and round. Huber stops. Lifts Guerrero. What's here? Oh, that back body drop. I think it's curtains for Guerrero. I'm sorry. Yes, Spike Huber. He's come up with a very unique combination off that airplane spin. I'll tell you, after the airplane spin with the back body drop following, that's pretty hard to recover from. Guerrero could not. Huber got the pin, and here's Mickey Garagiola.
In 8 minutes, 11 seconds with the airplane spin, then the back body drop. The winner, Spike Huber.
10-minute time limit from Blackwell, Oklahoma, weighing 232 pounds, the former heavyweight champion of the world, Jack Briscoe. His opponent from Minnesota, weighing 245 pounds, Bill Irwin.
The site is Tampa, Florida, and it's Jack Briscoe against Bill Irwin. Briscoe giving away some size to Irwin. The former NCAA champion, Jack Briscoe, comes to grips with Irwin. Nice arm drag by Briscoe, flings Bill Irwin to the mat. Again, they tie up in a second arm drag by Briscoe. Irwin charges. Briscoe's waiting again. Quickness was always one of the strengths of Jack Briscoe, and it still is. Don't forget, Briscoe is one of the younger world heavyweight champions ever when he dethroned Harley Race back in 1973 in Houston, Texas. Jack was truly a brilliant world heavyweight champion, and he's right at the top of the list right now, chasing Dusty Rhodes in the gold belt. And of course, what happens when Briscoe and Ken Patera square off in that Texas death match, that could well determine who's going to get cracks at major titles. A lot at stake when Briscoe and Patera go at it in a Texas death match. Anything goes. Falls don't count. The winner is declared. When one man concedes the bout, the referee stops the match due to injury, or someone cannot answer a 10 count after the 30-second rest period between falls. No time limit, anything goes. Briscoe and Patera have been at it before. They've tried to destroy each other. Well, they've really got a chance in a Texas death match. Briscoe working with his knee on the shoulder of Bill Irwin, grinding that shoulder, then twists the arm so more pressure's in the shoulder. Talk about the great scientific ability of someone like Pat O'Connor. Well, Jack Briscoe certainly fits right into that class. Undefeated in high school competition in the state of Oklahoma. He won the state high school wrestling title every time he competed. NCAA champion. He only lost one match in college, a 4-year career. And you know, of course, of his credentials as a professional. Toss in there, too, when he was playing high school football, he was all-state as a fullback. The drop kick there by Briscoe. Irwin brought to his feet by Briscoe. Jack always aggressive, always combative. He goes to the figure four leg lock, on Bill Irwin. What happens if he can get that on Ken Patera in the Texas death match and snap that knee of Patera? That would be interesting. It's Briscoe with the figure four leg lock on Irwin, who submits, and Jack Briscoe, the former world and Missouri champion, has another victory. We're back with more in a moment.
The main event, a one fall with a 20-minute time limit. Introducing from Kansas City, Missouri, weighing 253 pounds, former world heavyweight champion, Harley Race. And from Denton, Texas, weighing 237 pounds, David Von Erich, referee Charles Veneta.
How many promoters do you think called Sam Muchnick this week wanting to know how he does it time and time again? Harley Race against David Von Erich. Main event here, main event in Tokyo, main event in Atlanta, main event in Dallas. It's a main event anywhere, I'll guarantee you that fact. Race and Von Erich. And admire Harley Race. Give him the credit he deserves because he's already signed to meet David's brother, Kerry. Race knows that in order to get back at the World Heavyweight Championship, and in order to get another chance at the gold belt, he has to go through the absolute best. And that means people like the Von Erichs. Von Erich with a hip toss on Race. David ducks beneath Race and flips him right over the top. Side headlock, and David Von Erich flings Harley Race down. Over the next few weeks, Harley Race could be sitting on top of the world. Or it could be knocked all the way down right to the bottom. And really have a tough road ahead of him. But Race likes the going tough. Very unorthodox wrestler. And man, it's one of the reasons he's been so successful. Look at that bridge by David Von Erich. Beautiful bridge. Coming all the way up and riding Race back down with the side headlock. David's tall, but he's lean, hard. Tremendous tendon strength that David Von Erich has, developed through the years of competition on the basketball floor and in wrestling. Don't forget, by the time that David Von Erich was able to walk, his father, Fritz, had him down on the mat. He was stretching him out real good, developing that physical toughness that the body must develop for this business. There are no pads on these guys. They're in there with a pair of tights. When they slam into each other, a 250, 260-pound man, it stings, it hurts. And it doesn't take long if you're going to last before that body gets hard. And David Von Erich has that lean, hard body, as Harley Race has just found out, as he knows from past experience. One of the great rivalries right here, the Von Erichs and Harley Race. You can talk about the Yankees and the Dodgers in the World Series. You can talk about the Blues and the Blackhawks. You can talk about the football Cardinals and the Bears. Talk about any combination of rivalries you want, and certainly the Von Erichs and Race rates right up there. Any Von Erich. And that includes Father Fritz from a few years back. It includes Kevin Von Erich. It includes David Von Erich. And it may very well include Kerry Von Erich. Remember last weekend here on Wrestling at the Chase, Kerry and Race were on opposite sides of a tag match. Kerry's team won it. And then Race came into the ring to help his partner avoid a pin. Kerry Von Erich leaped in, drop-kicked Race right out of the ring and over the top rope. David twisting Race's head. Race barks out, no, no, no. Race knows all about the Iron Claw, that's for sure. He's found out the hard way there, too. Remember when David Von Erich really burst into international prominence right here on Wrestling at the Chase? It was in a handicap match against Harley Race. David caught Race in the claw and opened up Race's head, and they had to help Race from the ring. And from that point on, everyone knew that David Von Erich had hit his stride, that he was a force with which to be reckoned in the professional wrestling world. Race tries to put his full body weight against the stomach of David. He does so, pushes him to the ropes and away. Race ducks. Race waiting with a beautiful drop kick by the former world champion. Beautifully done by Race. Diving headbutt. Von Erich rolled away. Von Erich avoided the diving headbutt. Drop kick by David. Race comes up groggily. Side headlock. Race once more trapped to the mat by David Von Erich. Race can do it all. Nice drop kick. But David had enough presence of mind to roll away from the diving headbutt. Race pulls the hair. Charles Venator, the official, slaps that hand off the hair of David Von Erich. Even here you can hear Race struggling, trying to catch his breath after the drop kick and the hard jolt when he was thrown over the hip by David Von Erich. Plus the fact the headlock alone makes it hard to breathe. Look where Race's head is. It's pinched up against the rib cage in the side of David Von Erich. He's puffing right now, yet his mouth is constricted right along the side of Von Erich. David trying to lean over the top of Harley. He'd love to get his body weight over those shoulders and get a quick pin. But Race is probably too cagey, too clever. Been through too many wars to get trapped like that.
5 minutes have elapsed, 15 minutes left.
Race tries to push his way up. Race with a punch into the stomach of David Von Erich, but David hangs on to the side headlock. David gives that headlock a little extra pressure, making it that much more difficult for Race to counter. Race almost as though he's trying to bear hug David, and he might well try that. Harley has tremendous power in his upper body. His strength is greatly underestimated. Ken Patera may be the world's strongest wrestler, possibly the world's strongest man, but Harley Race, with a totally different method of training and a totally different background, probably isn't too far behind Patera in terms of pure raw strength. That is one very, very strong individual there, Harley Race. Race puts Von Erich on the ropes. The referee orders Race to break it. And a headbutt right to the jaw. Oh, he slammed that home. Race uses his head, uses his body like a battering ram. There's that headbutt again. David Von Erich knocked up against the ropes by Race. A punch to the mouth by Harley Race on David Von Erich. Nobody is more savage when he senses victory or senses an injured opponent than Harley Race. David, waiting. Oh, he clotheslines Race, nearly taking Race's head off. Von Erich covers Race. This could be it. The count of 2. Race gets away. He was caught by surprise. Von Erich clotheslining Race as he came off the mat. Body slam. Tremendous body slam by David Von Erich. He covers Race. Race kicks Von Erich off. Harley coming up slowly, and Race pitched down by David Von Erich. David looking extremely sharp right now, giving Harley Race everything and more that Race could have expected. I like those body slams David Von Erich is doing. He's adding a little more body motion and body momentum from himself to those body slams. He's turning into one wicked body slam deliverer, if you want to call it that. David twists the head of Race. Tension mounting a little bit right now. Race cannot seem to generate any offense against David Von Erich. He had things going with those headbutts, but David turned it around. Race slamming the mat. Frustration, pain, a little bit of both. As David squeezes the cheeks together of Harley Race. Young David Von Erich, right up there in the upper echelon, among the elite in professional wrestling. Race never underestimates an opponent. He's learned that the hard way, too. Everything Harley Race has learned in wrestling's come the hard way. He didn't have the formal teaching. He didn't have the formal background. He paid the price with his body by taking his lumps, by being psyched out psychologically occasionally against opponents. He remembered what happened to him, and he's learned how to use almost everything to his advantage. Race, oh, flying cross body block. He smacks his own chest, his own body into David. David Von Erich stuns something new from Harley Race. And we said he uses his body like a battering ram, and there's a perfect example. Race flinging himself 255 pounds into the air and slamming himself into Von Erich. Headbutt right on the forehead, knocks David clear across the ring. Von Erich has to be seeing cobwebs now, be seeing anything. David tries to come back. A second blast to the midsection. Von Erich pounding on the stomach of Race. A hard punch to the head by Von Erich. And a headbutt from Race. Dog eat dog now. Race and Von Erich. Flying there by Harley. Race trying to line Von Erich up for a diving headbutt. And he scores with it right to the head of Von Erich. It stuns Race a little bit too, but Race is willing to pay that price because he knows it will hurt his opponent more. Think of the sheer intestinal fortitude it takes on the behalf of Race to be willing to take the punishment he gives himself, just hurting an opponent. There's the knee drop across David's head. Race covers Von Erich. Count of 1 and 2. David slips away from Race. The crowd begins to yell, "Go, David, go!" Race lifting David. What's he have in my head? Standing pile driver? Maybe a shoulder breaker? It's a standing pile driver. Oh, the standing pile driver. This could be curtains for Von Erich. He gets away again. How's he doing it? Race can't believe it. That standing pile driver has almost always meant victory for Harley Race. Something he's dusted off, but David took the standing pile driver, and he's still in there battling.
10 minutes have passed, 10 minutes left.
David blocks the punch and fights back right to the mouth of Race. David surviving the standing pile driver. He covers Race. Race throws David off. Two tough, hard men in there. Headbutt to the abdomen by Race. Driving his head right into the lower abdomen of David Von Erich. Race going for the pile driver. He tried the standing pile driver. He has David in the air. Another pile driver delivered from the second way. Oh, David could have sustained a neck injury from that pile driver. That's two pile drivers from different angles that Race has scored with. Race still not content. He's not going for a pin. He stops right on the chest of David Von Erich. Race knows it's going to take more than a pile driver. Harley going outside the ring. Crawling up on the rope. Race up on the rope. The guy on David, but David's there. He grabs Race. David has Race's body in control. If he can lift him off and slam him. Oh. The crowd screaming. A tremendous battle between Race throws Von Erich off. David again, the flying elbow drop, and Race rolled away. Don't ever count him out. Don't count out Von Erich. Don't count out Race. Neither man will break. David missing the flying elbow drop, and Race rolled away. Race grabs the side saddle suplex. The side saddle suplex by Race, who's a master of all methods of suplex. Race lines up David, flying elbow drop, and David got out of the way. Race waited a second too long. He thought that David was a bit groggier than he was, and David managed to get out of the way. Race won't stay down. Huh, what more could you ask for? What a battle, what a confrontation between Race and David Von Erich. David pitches Race to the rope. Flying tackle, they both crack heads, and Race was right out of the ring and down to the floor. Both men down. Race outside the ring, David inside the ring. The referee counting on Race, a heavy collision. Both men groggy anyhow from the wear and tear of this tremendous battle. Race trying to regain his bearings. Before the count of 10, David was on his feet inside the ring, so he avoided being counted out on the mat. He was up at 8. Race has 20 outside on the floor. Race reaches inside and grabs the leg of David Von Erich. Race pulls David outside the ring. Look out here. David Von Erich, as you can see, slammed into the press table by Harley Race. The table dismantled from the force of Race slamming David into that table. David trying to pull himself up and come up to the apron. The referee trying to keep Race back. Race grabbing David and yanking his head down over the top cable, strangling David over that top rope. Von Erich in trouble outside the ring from the assault of Harley Race. David reaches up, he grabs Race, trying to pull Race outside, but Race has the advantage right there. He lifts David to the apron, going for the suplex, but David gets away from it. Back rolling cradle by David Von Erich on a 1 and a 2. Race gouges the eyes of David Von Erich. What a fantastic match between Race and David Von Erich. Everything that Race has dished out, David has been able to withstand and still come back and put Race in all sorts of trouble. David fighting back toe-to-toe, Race and Von Erich. David getting the better of it right now. He's going for the pile driver on Race. David Von Erich gives Race a pile driver. Von Erich with a pile driver on Race. David covers Race. Race puts his leg on that bottom rope. Oh, that experience, that instinct. Race always knows where he is. David angrily goes astride Race and pounds on Harley.
15 minutes have passed, 5 minutes left.
5 minutes remaining. David Von Erich tosses Race and puts on the claw. There it is, the iron claw. The iron claw by David Von Erich on Harley Race right in the middle of the ring. This could be it for Race. David grinding in with that iron claw on Race. Race trying to get to the ropes, reaching out for the ropes. He may not have enough left to get there. He grabs that rope and pushes Von Erich into the ropes. The referee forces Venator to break the iron claw. Forces Von Erich rather to break the iron claw. Race hanging on to those ropes. Oh, he saw that stomach exposed. Race spotted that stomach exposed and drove the headbutt in there. Harley blinking, his eyes look glassy, but he still knows where Von Erich is. He scored with a punch. Von Erich fighting back. Race and Von Erich both showing the signs of this grueling duel. Neither man able to come up with the right combination to put his opponent down. Oh, did Race ever slam that head in there to the jaw of Von Erich? I don't think David's going to be eating steak tonight. He'll be sipping through a straw. He's taking some shots to the jaw from Race. Race going for the suplex. Race gets it. The suplex by Race. That's Race's favorite. When he's in the most trouble, he'll try that suplex. Race going up to the second rope. He's legal from there. He's legal. He's lining him up for the diving. That's not it. Misses. David rolled away. David going up on the ropes himself. David's legal from there. Giants left the claw. No, he went for a diving claw. He has the claw on Race.
3 minutes left. 3 minutes.
For the second time in this fabulous battle, it's David Von Erich with the iron claw and Harley Race. Race trying to get away, looking for those ropes again. David kicks the hands off the rope. David kicking the hands off the rope. He has Race in the middle. There's plenty of time left, still over 2 minutes remaining. I don't care how tough Race is, I don't think even he can hang on under the stress of the iron claw that long. Race grabbing the referee, and Race! Oh, Race slamming the referee, Charles Benader into David Von Erich. Benader cracked his head into the jaw of Von Erich. Von Erich pitched through the ropes and out of the ring by Race. The referee is down and injured. Race going outside the ring after David Von Erich. David stunned after hitting head first with the referee. He's going for a suplex outside the ring on the concrete floor. Oh, Race with a suplex on David Von Erich outside the ring. If David's been hurt, his leg's perfect. He's been hurt. The referee calling for the bell. I'm sure he's going to disqualify Race for slamming him into Von Erich, but that doesn't no way justify what Race just did to David Von Erich. Race going up on the top rope. Race slapping at Benader. David Von Erich has been injured. Down on the floor, badly hurt. He's holding his shoulder. Here comes Kerry Von Erich. Von Erich pushing Race into the ring. Kerry Von Erich shoving Race away from the Benader and also Von Erich. Kerry ripping off his jacket. Kerry Von Erich. See what has happened to his brother. Kerry Von Erich after Race. Kerry grabs Race. Race diving out of the ring, falling into the table, crawling behind our table to get away from Kerry Von Erich. Race crawling behind the table. David still down on the concrete. Here comes Bobo Brazil. Spike Huber. David has been hurt. Kerry Von Erich looking hard at Race and Race. Heading to the dressing room. Kerry Von Erich really had no choice. That was his brother. That was his brother down there on the floor who took that suplex on the concrete floor. David bent forward. Brazil and Spike Huber trying to help David get to his feet. David is on his feet. He's shaking pretty badly. He'll have a doctor take a good look at him. Kerry Von Erich coming to... Mickey's microphone has been destroyed. I think we'll have to handle the announcement from here. Charles Benader coming down the steps. Charlie, disqualification for...
Disqualification because Harley is missing.
Slammed him into you.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Charlie, a little groggy right now for handling the referee, but the match does end in a disqualification. David Von Erich is the winner, and we'll be back with more after this.
The third match, a one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing from Jonesboro, Arkansas, weighing 232 pounds, Tim Leonard. From Denton, Texas, weighing 248 pounds, Kerry Von Erich.
Kerry Von Erich opposes Tim Leonard, but I'm sure his thoughts right now on his brother Leonard. Jumping Kerry Von Erich from behind. Leonard jumping Kerry when he turned his back to take his jacket off. Referee Eddie Warren trying to restore order. Kerry, his temper probably a little short anyway after what happened between him and Harley Race after Race gave David Von Erich, Kerry's brother, a suplex on the concrete floor and injured David. Kerry whoops Leonard to the ropes, catches him coming off with a stomach claw. The stomach claw lifting Leonard in the air, high into the air. Do you believe that? And slamming him down. The stomach claw by Kerry Von Erich, and Leonard submits. Kerry Von Erich still infuriated. You can see he's geared up. The muscles are all just flexed and tense. And when Leonard jumped in from behind, Kerry just blew, and I mean, that was it. Leonard just got blown right out of this building by Kerry Von Erich with the stomach claw. I hope Harley Race saw that. Here's Mickey.
In 39 seconds, with the stomach claw, the winner, Kerry Von Erich.
Kerry Von Erich, you must have mixed emotions right now. You blew Tim Leonard right out of the building, but they had to carry your brother out of the studio after what Harley Race did to him.
That's right. Unfortunately, that's what happened to Dave. He's all right. His shoulder and his neck is injured, but he's okay. He's not in the hospital, so thank the good Lord for that.
Yeah, I imagine you'll have some doctors take a look at him, though, make sure there's no serious injury there. The point is, though, what Race did to him on the floor with that suplex, that's what you have to look forward to when you wrestle Race head-to-head. He'll do anything.
Man, that's one man I've always wanted. I wanted him for so long. It's had me a gut feeling inside. This man, I've seen him wrestle against my brothers, my dad, and I've seen him win any way that he possibly can. And so Harley Race, I'm going to wrestle you any way I possibly can. I'm going to beat you any way I possibly can. I'm looking forward to that match, Race.
Of course, you know from Race, though, sure, he's rough and he'll throw the rule book away, but his fundamentals are good. He's a good defensive wrestler. You have to be careful. You can't let your temper run away.
Well, Harley Race is one of the finest wrestlers in the world right now. Of course, just lost the title. I feel confident one day he'll have it back, but hopefully I'll have it back before him and he'll be defending against me. I'm looking forward to the match, like I said. I'm in the best condition I've been in all my years in pro wrestling. I'm quicker, I'm faster, and I know all of Harley Race's weak points right now.
And, of course, you also know that this match alone could catapult you into a crack at Dusty Rhodes.
Oh, for sure. If I beat Harley Race, I should be the next man in line for the World Heavyweight title, which is our lifelong goal.
Well, Kerry Von Erich has certainly made his presence known. I know you want to get back and check on David. Thanks for taking the time to talk with us, Kerry.
Thank you, sir.
Kerry Von Erich, mixed emotions today, that's for sure. But he certainly let Harley Race know that he was around, and so did Kerry's brother, David.
The final match, most falls to curfew. Introducing from Benton Harbor, Michigan, weighing 285 pounds, Bobo Brazil. And from Memphis, Tennessee, weighing 230 pounds, David Price.
The conditions, most falls to curfew. The opponents, Bobo Brazil and David Price. Brazil pushes Price to the ropes. When Bobo Brazil came by on his way to the ring, he says, I would think they better take David and have a doctor get a look at him, which I'm sure they will. They'll check after what happened when Harley Race gave David Von Erich a suplex on the concrete floor. After Race had been trapped in the iron claw right in the middle of the ring and looked in desperate trouble. It looked as though Race was just about finished. But then Harley reached out, grabbed referee Charles Benader, and drove Benader into Von Erich. With the referee down, Race then pitched David Von Erich outside the ring, gave him the suplex on the concrete floor. Then he crawled up on the top rope. He was arguing with Benader. I'm sure Kerry Von Erich, seeing on the closed circuit sets that are in the dressing rooms, realizing that David had been hurt, and seeing that Race was up on the top rope, knowing the situation was out of control, had to be afraid that Race might be ready to jump on his own brother, on David. So naturally, Kerry came down to look out for his brother, and Bobo Brazil and Spike Huber also came out to see if they could help in restoring some order. The official verdict, Race disqualified. The result, well, a lot of anger on the part of Kerry Von Erich, I'm sure. And certainly a score that David Von Erich will be looking to settle along the way against Harley Race somewhere. And I'm curious about Race's point of view. Beleaguered, certainly right in the middle of everything. He had a terrific match with David Von Erich. He got into trouble at the end. Now he's got to step right out of the frying pan into the fire against Kerry. And you saw what Kerry did to Tim Leonard. Think how psyched up Kerry's going to be when he squares off with Race. Think how psyched up Briscoe and Patera are going to be. And they get in that ring with no rules, essentially. No strangling. That's about it. Anything else goes when Briscoe and Patera lock horns in the first Texas death match in St. Louis since March the 25th of 1977. Sam Muchnick had said he would never again present a Texas death match, but only through the pleas, the arguments, the good arguments of Jack Briscoe and the stature that Briscoe has in the wrestling business. Because of all that, Sam Muchnick has lifted his ban on Texas death matches, at least in this one instance. So Briscoe and Patera in a Texas death match. Anything goes. The winner declared, essentially when one man cannot go on.
5 minutes left, 5 minutes.
Bobo Brazil dropping Price with an elbow smash to the top of the head. Knee lift by Bobo Brazil. That sends Price flying. Brazil twists the arm and Price cries out. Interesting contrast on that upcoming card. You have the death match. Virtually anything going. You have the bad feelings between Kerry Von Erich and Harley Race. That certainly won't be any Sunday school picnic. Then you got a match in there, Pat O'Connor against Billy Robinson. Two of the finest scientific wrestlers ever to step inside a squared circle anywhere. Robinson and O'Connor. That'll be something totally different, and I guess it gives you a touch and a taste of everything in one program. Sergeant Slaughter coming in, big and mean. Von Roschke there, Rufus R. Jones. Look at the day's card here on Wrestling at the Chase. Look at the names. Look at that main event. Harley Race and David Von Erich. Here's Bobo Brazil against a tough young customer, David Price. Price pounding on Brazil. Brazil pounds right back. That's one big man. He's about 6'6", comes in around 285, 290 pounds. Bobo, a native of East St. Louis, of course. Well, he makes his home now in Benton Harbor, Michigan. That punch spins David Price and drops him. Bobo was a tremendous baseball player before he went into wrestling. Played first base, had great power, obviously.
Bad hands.
Did you see him play?
No, but I'd say he must have had bad hands, but he's got good hands in that ring, the way he's
so
chopping
big.
around. Oh, my God.
Make a baseball, make it look like a golf ball.
Good target to throw to, too, at first base.
Yeah, that's for sure. I think Gary Templeton can find him, don't you?
He better move like Keith Hernandez.
Brazil giving David Price a taste of his own medicine. That upsets Charles Venator, who's had a pretty rough day anyhow. Give the referee some credit. He took a hard bounce himself when he was thrown into David Von Erich. In fact, when he left the ring, he was still trying to regain his bearings, but he realized what had happened, that it was Race's fault, and he made the correct decision. He made the right call. He disqualified Race. Brazil's head slammed into the buckle. Slammed there again. I don't think Bobo's too impressed. 3 times is the charm. Oh, Bobo takes a look at him. He wanted to nail him, and Price goes scooting across the ring and says, wait a minute.
He was trying to get his head size that time.
Did you see the eyes on Bobo? Mickey almost fell off the chair. No wonder Price ran across that ring. I think Bobo was a little upset. Price tentatively reaches out that hand, and Brazil brings Price right out of the corner.
2 minutes left, 2 minutes.
It's most falls to curfew between Bobo Brazil and David Price. No falls yet. Brazil tosses Price to the ropes, ducks underneath, rolls over. Price still flying over the top. Brazil winning with a hip toss. A lot of strength right there. Bobo took him off his feet with one arm, and Price comes in around 230 pounds. Bobo grapevines the leg side suplex. Nicely delivered by Bobo Brazil, the side suplex. He's shoved off the top, though, Brazil is, by David Price, hanging in there after that hard side suplex. Bobo grapevines the leg a second time and slams Price down. That might turn the trick. Oh, hey, Price, tough boy, hanging in there after 2 side suplexes. Price throws a punch in the midsection. I think he's doing it on instinct now, and so he's just flailing away. He arm whips Brazil into the corner, charges in. Brazil catches him with his legs. Oh! That's a way to get a headache. The heel right into the head.
1 minute left, 1 minute.
The headbutt from Bobo Brazil. Brazil levels Price with the headbutt. He's on top, and he has the pin. Bobo Brazil with the headbutt. And you have to give David Price a little credit. He hung in there after those 2 side suplexes, and he really put the pressure on Bobo Brazil, but Brazil had it when it counted, and that headbutt finished it off.
Tough guys could spark the action on Wrestling at the Chase, and 2 of the toughest were Bulldog Bob Brown and Baron Von Roschke. What happened when they tangled on July 19th, 1981?
The main event, a 1 fall with a 20-minute time limit. Introducing from Winnipeg, Canada, weighing 245 pounds, Bulldog Bob Brown. And from Germany, weighing 275 pounds, Von Raschke, referee Lee Warren.
Mickey Garagiola dives out of the ring, and it's Von Raschke against Bulldog Bob Brown. They went at it almost before the introduction. Raschke yelled something at Brown before the introduction. Brown went right after Raschke, and he dived out of the ring. Brown pops Raschke in the head. It's Bulldog Bob Brown and Von Raschke, and there goes Raschke outside. Raschke trying to regain his composure outside the ring. I don't think he's too happy about things here. Well, tell him, Mickey, for crying out loud, do something. You can't talk. Can you breathe? Do you need a doctor? Mickey's checking his pulse against the stopwatch. And I think he's going to come out at about 186.
This guy Von Raschke, something else.
What are you puffing about?
Oh, you kidding? Man alive, boy, that's a lot of weight coming after you.
Von Raschke squaring up with Bulldog Bob Brown. This will not be a tea party.
No
That
way.
is safe to say. Raschke and Brown tie up. It's a side headlock by Brown on Raschke. Nobody will be pulling hair in this match. Brown squeezing Raschke's head. Raschke reaching into the grip. Maybe he can break it. Come up with a wrist lock. No. Brown really squeezing. Brown hits the ropes. No, he doesn't. Brown hung on with that side headlock. Raschke tried to throw him away, and Brown was too strong. Raschke couldn't throw him off. Some power demonstrated right there by Bulldog Bob Brown. Lee Warren, with the unenviable task of officiating this match, asked Raschke if he wanted to give up. Don't hold your breath on that happening from either man. Raschke throws Brown, tries to throw Brown, can't do it. He tries again to throw him. And Raschke just can't throw Brown off. Look at the way Raschke's head is wrinkled, the way the ears are pinched together from the force of that side headlock by Bulldog Bob Brown. That head's all wrinkles. You can hardly see his eyes. Brown has him gripped so tightly. Watch my tights, yells Brown. Lee Warren slaps the hand of Raschke away. Brown threatens to bust Raschke right in the mouth. Raschke puts pressure up against the side of Brown's face. Brown pops the back of Raschke's head with that side headlock and bangs his forearm into the neck of Raschke a couple more times, and Raschke is pitched down by Bulldog Bob Brown. Ask him again, says Bulldog Bob Brown. Talk won't count in this one. And Brown knows that full well in any match. It's not what you say, it's what you do. Count up two. Brown struggling to keep that shoulder up. Lee Warren spotted Raschke pulling the tights, and so he pushed Brown right over up on top. That's the good way for the referee to control the match. I can remember Joe Schoenberger doing that many times. Joe, of course, timekeeper and one of the best referees ever to step inside that ring. And he's done a fine job tutoring Lee Warren and his brother Ed. Lee quickly developing into one of the top officials in the country. Count of two on Raschke.
And watching Joe work the timekeeper's table on the side of the ring there, I tell you, he wants to get right into that ring, and he's always coaching these two boys, the Warren boys.
He wants to, he misses it a lot. It's in the blood. Lee Warren again making sure that Bulldog Bob Brown does not lose his advantage unfairly by Raschke pulling tights.
I think all our referees are well respected by these wrestlers. Eddie Smith, Lee Warren,
Charlie Venator, Joe Tangera,
right.
Chuck Riley, every one of them.
They do a terrific job.
And Ed Warren, they all do an excellent job. They expect respect from the wrestlers, and they get it. And they give respect to the wrestlers. You know, nobody ever paid to see a wrestler disqualified. And there has to be a certain amount of leniency in professional wrestling. It's a rough, tough sport. You got big, strong men colliding in a small, confined area. The time limits are short. They're going to go all out. So when a disqualification is called for, you make it, but that doesn't mean that you want to do it bang right off the top. If you want to be technical, Raschke and Brown could both have been disqualified for something by now, probably. But that's not what people want to see. They want to see enough leeway and enough leniency that the wrestlers can do what they do best, to demonstrate their toughness and their different abilities. And if a disqualification is called for, if something gets too far out of line, the referee makes that call. Flying tackle by Brown. Side headlock. Roshki's down.
5 minutes have elapsed, 15 minutes left.
Roshki lifts his shoulder after the count of 1. Look how Brown is twisting the head of Roshki, too. He's not just letting it lie there, but he's pulling the head up, twisting it sideways, so there's pressure in the neck, too. Great opportunity for Bulldog Bob Brown, a great opportunity for Von Roshki. A lot of lucrative matches could ride on the result of this one. Ask him, says Bulldog. Hey, you never know, the guy may give up. Brown really pulling that neck around. Bulldog Bob Brown's had this side headlock for over 4 minutes now on Von Roshki. But it points out something. If it's working, do it. And sometimes the thing that looks the simplest is doing the most good. Von Roshki's caught a side headlock. He's having trouble breathing. He's perspiring. He's getting that sweat in his eyes. That's stinging like the devil. You can bet his ears are pinched together. It's a simple hold, but it's tremendously effective. Look how Brown has it applied. He has that forearm bone right against the ear of Roshki. That hurts. The simplest things are sometimes the best. The simplest thing to apply might be a cradle. And how many times have you seen big, important main event matches end with a cradle? Brown says, I think he said yes, he gives up. Warren says, no, he didn't.
Ed Brown is something else. He's thinking all the time.
Now, Roshki's having a lot of trouble getting out of this side headlock. You can see that, obviously. It's taking its toll on Roshki. Roshki trying to straighten Brown up. Bounces him against the ropes. Throws him away. He misses with the claw. A kick to the stomach from Brown. Back to the side headlock. Roshki, an early attempt with his favorite brain claw. Brown ducked beneath it. Kicked Roshki right in the stomach. Good science there. Then put the side headlock on and rode him down. Can't believe the way that ear's punched together. He's going to have 2 cauliflower ears when this one's over. Look at that ear. Look at that head.
Ron keeps hollering. You got anything to talk about? What do you think you've been doing?
Roshki hasn't got anything to say, I know that.
I wouldn't either if I had my ear like that.
Let me tell you something. If he got you in a headlock like that, you'd look like your brother on top.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a dirty one, too.
That's a good one.
He'd pop those hairs right out. Look out. Atomic knee drop. The atomic knee drop by Roshki. The atomic knee drop by Von Roshki. You can see the effect of that side headlock right now. Roshki a little slow to follow up the advantage. Brown stunned. He was caught by surprise. Roshki used that brain and scored with an atomic knee drop right to the spine of Bulldog Bob Brown. Flying elbow drop by Roshki into the back of Bulldog Brown. And now that shoe might be on the other foot because Brown's in some trouble. Roshki with that kick to the back of Bulldog. And then Roshki pulls back on the head with a chin lock. Perfect position there by Roshki. You know, that neck that Bulldog Brown's got, I wonder how effective that'll be, but maybe he can wear him down by putting pressure in the neck and the back. You know, Bulldog's head really goes right into his shoulders. He got that big, big neck.
Get the monkey off your back, Bob!
Roshki pulling on the head of Brown. It's not a strangle. That's obvious. Now Brown trying to get up. He's scooting backwards. Maybe he can scoot out from underneath it. Roshki really squeezing the chin. Look out! Down goes Roshki. Brown tripping him as he pulls off with that back. Still paining Bulldog Brown, and Roshki follows up, banging his knee into the back of Bulldog Brown. Brown comes off the ropes. Roshki with a forearm right into the solar plexus. Perfect location on that forearm smash from Roshki. He covers Brown. Count of 1, count of 2. Brown kicks away. Roshki lining Brown up for the claw. The claw. Brown blocks it. Brown blocks the brain claw of Roshki. The claw being blocked by Bulldog Brown. Roshki straining, trying to get that claw on Brown. Look how close he is. Roshki trying to get that claw on Brown. Brown reaches up and gouges the eyes of Roshki. Oh, so close for Roshki. Then the crowd urges on Brown.
10 minutes have expired, 10 minutes left.
Roschke pounding on the back of Bulldog Brown. That's still a vulnerable point on Brown. Body slam by Roschke. He covers Brown to go for a pin. No luck there. Brown's tougher than that. Brown staggering, favoring that back. Roschke lifted to the air by Brown. He suckered Roschke to him and scored with his own body slam. Count of one. Roschke kicks up, gets that shoulder up. Brown following Roschke, the chop to the throat. Brown again lifts Roschke. Roschke grabs the rope and pulls Brown over the top rope with him. Oh, Brown slams his head and arm against a chair at ringside. One of the spectators vacated the area. Roschke pounding on Brown outside the ring. Brown trying to fight back. Brown grabs Roschke's head, and Brown, though, is pushed away. Brown pushed away into the steel ring post. The count, Roschke chased back by the referee, and he has to start the count over because Roschke would not get back. Brown tried to run Roschke's head into the ring post. Instead, it was Roschke who shoved Brown off, and Brown hit the ring post after he'd already hit a chair at ringside with his head. Roschke being pushed back again by the referee. Brown up to the apron. He slams his shoulder into the stomach of Von Roschke. Roschke pounding on Brown. This is turning into Donnybrook. Brown working on the eyes of Von Roschke. Brown battering Roschke now. Both of these men showing the ability to absorb punishment and still fight back. Brown pounding on Roschke. Lee Warren trying to get him back. Oh, and Brown throws the referee aside. Brown. Roschke, oh, and Roschke belts the referee. Down goes Lee Warren. Warren has been decked by both men. First Brown and then Roschke. They're over on top. Warren calling for the bell. Warren calling for the bell after he'd been decked first by Brown and then by Roschke. Brown and Roschke going at it hot and heavy. Referee Lee Warren trying to separate the two. Roschke backflip by Brown. Warren trying to pull the two apart, and Roschke crawls out of the ring. Oh, and Warren get clobbered by Roschke. Brown had earlier thrown Warren aside when he tried to separate the two. Mickey Garagiola checking with the referee what he wants to do. I think he may be disqualifying both men. Roschke outside the ring right by us, Brown in. Let's hear from Mickey Garagiola. Well, wait a minute, Brown coming out after him. Roschke throws a chair this way at Brown. Now Roschke grabbing a chair, and Brown and Roschke squaring off outside the ring. Referee Eddie Smith has come to ringside to help restore some order. Let's hear from Mickey Garagiola.
In 12 minutes and 2 seconds, referee Lee Warren disqualifies both wrestlers. This match is a draw.
Do you think Baron Von Roschke has mellowed any in 20 plus years? On April the 10th, 2004, I had the opportunity to visit with Von Roschke on a card at the South Broadway Athletic Club in St. Louis. He was visiting friends in St. Louis, and he also got involved a little bit as the evening went along. First, we talked to Von Roschke alone. Then, during the card, I talked to him again, and on the card were Ron Powers and Gary Jackson, two terrific talents who really never got the break they deserved because of the changes in wrestling. They would be top stars, but they're still top names in the St. Louis area. Well, watch what happened, and you tell me if you think Von Roschke still has a temper when this segment's done. It's good to be in St. Louis. It's good to be here at South Broadway Athletic Club where the ring's going up for an independent card tonight. But most importantly, it's good to be here with one of the most colorful characters who ever stepped foot inside the squared circle of St. Louis, Baron Von Roschke.
That's all the people need to know. How you doing here, Larry?
How could people boo you when you were such a colorful character?
Boo me!
Did they boo you?
They just didn't understand, did they?
Well,
I was probably one of the most understood wrestlers in the profession.
you talk about misunderstood. And I'm going to be honest right now. Misunderstood, well, it's partially our fault. When we talked on Wrestling at the Chase about Baron Von Roschke, we overlooked Jim Roschke and the things that he did at the University. That's you, Bubby. That's you. Remember back at the University of Nebraska when you were with Monty Kiffin, probably the most highly paid and most recognized defensive coordinator in the National Football League today, the sport you guys played together at the University of Nebraska.
That's right. I played football at the University of Nebraska. I also Wrestled at the University of Nebraska, Monty Kiffin. A lot of great teammates on that early Nebraska team. Not a lot of success back then.
Pat Fisher, who played for the old Big Red, was on that team, wasn't he?
Pat Fisher, Mick Dinglehoff, Ron McDowell, Carol Zaruba. A bunch of guys that went on to be professional football players.
You were an offensive tackle? Are you playing both ways?
I was very offensive as a tackle and also in the dorm.
I can imagine. Now
A lot of people couldn't stand me.
Yeah, but you also wrestled. And we also were misunderstood about that because you had a tremendous amateur record. Tell us about it.
Tell you about what?
Tell us about what you did in the Big 8.
Well, I won the Big 8 championship back in and that was a very good year, by the way.
Okay, that was a good year.
Yeah. My only exposure to professional wrestling back when I was in high school, my best friend Terry Turner played baseball, and one summer he got a new glove from his dad, and he said, "Look, Rashke, look, this is my new glove. It's the Mitsu Arakawa model." He said that because it was made in Japan. That's back when things made in Japan were popular. Anyway, that was my only exposure to professional wrestling. I represented the USA on the world's team back in 1963, and I was the second American to ever place in Greco-Roman wrestling. I got third place at the World Championships in Helsingborg, Sweden.
Go on, finish this story. How did we get to pro wrestling?
Aren't we there yet?
We're getting close.
Vern Gagne had me drive up to Minneapolis, and that's how I got involved in professional wrestling.
And when did you first develop the persona, the character, the personality in the ring of Baron von Raschke? That was another famous wrestling name that helped you get started at that point, wasn't it?
That's right. Vern Gagne showed me the basics of professional wrestling. Some other people like Wilbur Schneider worked out with me, and different people that he had going through his area at the time. And my first job in professional wrestling was I set up the ring.
Just like this is
like
happening
that.
right now.
Yep, I just got done, by the way.
No, it was a very good job.
I set up the ring, and after a while I got to referee some of the matches, and part of my job was on Saturdays they'd have television matches at a studio. I'd set up the ring, and then they'd have me watch all the matches and all the interviews. And they'd put me in the control booth where the director hung out. TV monitor, about 5, 6, 10 TV monitors. The director said, camera A, camera B, however he did it. And I'd sit there and I'd watch in this dark room, not paying attention to everything. But anyway, after several weeks of doing that, all the wrestlers would go to the ring. They'd walk past this open door of the director's booth and wouldn't pay any attention to me. And why would they? Anyway,
just a kid breaking in.
Every once in a while, this one guy came through and he'd look in that room, and after a week or two he looked in and he says, "You would be a good German." And I was a young kid and I didn't know how to respond. I was shy, bashful, backward, and the guy actually scared me is what happened.
That was Mad Dog Vachon, right?
Hey, you're getting ahead of the story.
Oh, okay.
This happened 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay.
And eventually I said, "Yes, I am a German." That's my background is German. My parents are German, so.
That's German.
So one thing led to another. He says, "Why don't you come to Quebec, Canada with me and be my partner?" And I did, and he wanted to call me Baron von Pumpkin. I don't know why. So I said, "No, thank you. I'll just stick to my name." So I went up. I became his partner, and he taught me a lot about wrestling, about how to make money in the professional wrestling ranks.
And back in those days, word spread fast when a young talent came around. And by October 4th, 1968, Baron von Raschke came to St. Louis at Kiel Auditorium to wrestle Pat O'Connor. But you had a little trouble getting into the ring, didn't you?
Well, actually I did, Larry.
How'd that happen?
It's a many pronged problem. I was new to the area. I hadn't been to the Kiel Auditorium in my life. Hadn't been to St. Louis. Hadn't even been on an airplane that much. But here I was in St. Louis on my own. I go to the building. They tell me who my opponent is. They showed me how to get down to the ring. The dressing rooms are up here in the Kiel. You had to go down a flight of stairs and into the hall. And they showed me that little thing. Well, I got up there and I got dressed in my German suit. That's what I called it. I got dressed in my German suit. Got all prepared for the match. One match went by, another match. I didn't go down and watch the matches, so I just knew that hallway led down to the arena. So I took off my glasses. I could see about this far without my glasses, right?
A foot.
Maybe. I thought that was a foot. That's your face.
My nose.
Anyway, I walked down to the arena and I see my opponent walking down ahead of me. He goes straight out into the crowd, into the ring. So I figure if he goes that way, I have to go this way, the opposite direction, go into the ring from a different aisle, because that's the way most buildings were. One wrestler would go in from one side, the other wrestler would go in from the other side. There's enough pulchritude right here. Anyway, I stumbled across this big opera stage, fumbled down the steps, found the door, cracked through the door. I was into the arena. I heard the roar of the crowd, and I was on the wrong side of the building. Nobody had ever gone into the ring from that side, as far as I know, or probably ever since. I approached the ring from the wrong way, got in the ring. Everybody was booing and hissing, and treated me like I was a real jerk. And that's how I got to be misunderstood.
You were misunderstood, but it was a great entry, because I remember that. I was just starting to work for Sam Much Think back then, and I remember, who is this guy that got lost going to the ring? And it was Baron von Raschke. What a great entry, and what a great match with Pat O'Connor that night. Pat O'Connor was a terrific opponent, was he not?
He was. He's one of the greatest wrestlers in the profession, and he was always up to the task. He was a great performer.
When you wrestled at Kiel Auditorium, you were all over the world. You wrestled everywhere, you headlined everywhere, but in Kiel Auditorium, wasn't that ring about the hardest ring you were ever in your life?
It was like this concrete floor. Everybody hated the ring at Kiel, but Sam Muchnick, he had to stick to it. Stuck by his guns. He wouldn't change it for anybody. It had a padding like this, and I think that was made of concrete also.
You took a backdrop on there, you felt it.
Only Dick the Bruiser, who never fell down, could stand that ring.
When you wrestled in St. Louis, one big match you had, and you sold out Kiel Auditorium for it, you against Dory Funk Jr. for the World Heavyweight title. You probably remember that one, because you had a sellout crowd, and Dory Jr. was a tough opponent.
He was. He had a lot of skills, and we went at it tooth and nail. I don't remember the result. He obviously maintained his championship belt, but he must have cheated or something.
You wouldn't have cheated.
No way.
No way. As you went around wrestling in those eras, one thing, and
Dick the Bruiser would have cheated.
Dick the Bruiser probably did cheat. But as you went around, wrestling in all these different venues, I can remember you suffered an injury to your shoulders, and a famous surgeon, Dr. Andrews, Dr. James Andrews, who now does many of the rotator cuff surgeries for Major League Baseball, one of his first surgeries on your shoulders, and it was only a few days before a card at Kiel Auditorium. Can you remember the pain? Tell us about that whole surgery thing and how you felt you had to work. You didn't want to disappoint the people in St. Louis.
Well, I had, both of my shoulders were bad actually, and I had one done at one time, and then about 6 weeks later, I think he said I could have the other one, so I had it both times. Eventually, I think this is the first shoulder we're talking about, because I learned a lesson. But like you said, Dr. Andrews was a practicing physician then. I was one of his early models.
He found out how.
Actually, he did a good job. I used to be only able to raise my shoulder this high. After he was done, I could raise it this high. But anyway, no, he did a great job, and I woke up from the surgery. He came to my room. He says, "How does it feel?" I says, "Well, will I ever be able to play the piano?" He says, I don't see white eyes. I said, wow, I never could before. Anyway, after about a week of rehab, I still had they sewed me up with a wire. And it had a little curl on the top and it went down. And I was booked for a show here at the Kiel Auditorium. And I said, gee, you know, and they said, oh, you got to make it, you got to make it, you know, like the world would come to an end if the Baron wasn't on this card. Not true. I think they would have had a sensational card without me. So I came, like the fool I was, I came to the arena thinking I was tougher than I was. And I actually got in the ring and I paid the price, but I got through the match. And
Well, let's talk about something about wrestlers that's often overlooked. You don't have hospitalization. You didn't get paid when you wrestled. You didn't have a trainer to take care of you. A wrestler is an independent contractor. It's a tough life.
yes, the promoters are very, very smart about that. They keep us as independent contractors. A thing you might learn, by the way. There are no benefits, and you had to either be working, you had to get there, you had to perform, or you didn't get paid. And if you didn't get paid, you couldn't pay your bills, so on and so forth.
How many nights did you get into that ring when you were beat up and hurt?
Every night every night I was booked, I showed up and I performed it to the best of my ability. And that's I don't know if it was a code or a credo, but most of the wrestlers abided by it.
And Baron Von Raschke, of them all, did that 110% of that ring every night. Baron, it is a pleasure and an honor, my friend.
Well, that's all you need to know, Larry.
And it's all you need to know until you see this match. We're ready to go back to wrestling in the Baron Von Raschke against
Once again, a pleasure to be here at South Broadway Athletic Club. Eddie Smith was one of the best third men in the ring we ever had at Kiel Auditorium in the arena. He was in the ring for many of the matches this gentleman had, and he had some great ones against Dick the Bruiser, against Dory Funk Jr., against Pat O'Connor. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the master of the brain claw, Baron Von Raschke.
And that is all you need to know.
I think the Baron's back in St. Louis.
It's good to be back. Talk about that Eddie Smith. Easy Eddie, they called him. How come he never let me get away with anything? But that Dick the Bruiser could break all the rules.
Eddie, what do you have to say about that, Eddie? He says it's not true.
You can count on Easy Eddie for a straight answer, can't ya?
Baron Von Raschke, it's great to have you back here. That claw really originated in St. Louis. I think you beat Pat O'Connor with it. It was a great weapon for you over your career, wasn't it?
Well, it has been a successful hold for me. It's one of the holds I used, and I was so successful with it, I had to almost use it in every match. But I'd always set up my opponents with a lot of other moves. So you can't just be like a one-dimensional wrestler. You have to know a lot of things, a lot of holds. You mentioned Pat O'Connor, the master of the sleeper hold. The sleeper is a great hold, but if it's not set up correctly, if you don't do the other things to wear your opponent down, use the arm locks, use the arm drag, leg locks, then you're not going to be successful with your favorite.
There's somebody I want to bring in here because I talked to him before the card. He really wanted to meet you. He's really been a top star. Somehow, bouncing around the country, you guys never ended up in the same place at the same time because of that. Is Ron Powers down here? Here comes Ron. Let's bring Ron out there. Oh, Ron, wanted to get the chance to say hello and to meet Baron Von Raschke. Here comes Ron. Johnny Powers. No relation to Johnny Powers. Ron Powers, Baron.
Ron, nice to meet you.
Baron, you've always been a cornerstone in this sport. Between you and Larry, Ed Smith, Mickey Garagiola, Bob Orr, we can go on and on. You guys put St. Louis on the map. I've been in this business for 18 years and have never had the privilege of meeting you. It's an honor to meet you, and I hope maybe in a little while we can do business.
Well, my pleasure to meet you, and much luck on your career and any of your upcoming matches. Nice to meet you, man.
You were teaching the claw.
Gary Jackson, what do you want?
Let's bring up this family reunion. Everybody came down here to see gorgeous Gary Jackson take on the biggest cheater in the game, Rob Powers. Now, Mr. Vern Rusky, I understand you have done a lot of things. In the past, you have put St. Louis on the map. But tonight, sir, I ask you to step back 50 feet because this is Gary Jackson's night. Now, as you can tell, all the people out here, like they ain't seen the great one, gorgeous Gary Jackson, looking good as only I can look. So,
let me cut this short. Gary Jackson, I might have lost a step or two, brother, but I'm still 2 steps ahead of you and everybody up in that dressing room.
I'm still
and
champ.
you couldn't beat me on your best day.
You're still champ.
Stay calm, guys. Come on. We don't need this here. Come on, guys. Hey. Whoa. Gary Jackson won't have to run power. Stay here, Gary. If they're bad.
See what I do to people when they get in my way? See what I do to people when they get
Take it easy. It's okay. I don't know Gary Jackson. You okay now, brother?
Wow, did Von Raschke get excited or what? But excitement was the name of the game for Wrestling at the Chase. Let's see some more excitement from the fall of 1981.
The first main event, a one fall with a 20-minute time limit. Introducing from Seattle, Washington, weighing 245 pounds, Greg Valentine. And from Denton, Texas, weighing 248 pounds, Kerry Von Erich. Referee, Sonny Myers.
A lot of people in the wrestling world are keeping an eye on this one. Greg Valentine against Kerry Von Erich. Greg returning to Wrestling at the Chase after a long absence, during which period he has established himself as one of the top contenders for the World Heavyweight Championship. Greg Valentine knows, too, that Kerry Von Erich is one of the hottest young talents in wrestling history. He's loaded with potential, with skill. He's like a volcano that is hard to cap, but Greg Valentine, he is tough. And we may find out just how tough against Kerry Von Erich today. Sonny Myers, the referee, another longtime St. Louis favorite as a wrestler, and he's back today in the role of a referee, a job that he has filled with very good skill all over the country. In fact, if you're curious, Sonny Myers was a referee back in 1975 when Terry Funk captured the World Heavyweight Championship, a match in Miami Beach. Nice takedown by Greg Valentine on Kerry Von Erich. Greg with a toe hold. And of course, Greg Valentine, the son of Johnny. And Greg is filling those big shoes very, very well. And look at his record along the East Coast over the last couple of years. He's beaten just about everybody. And he'd like to do the same right here. A knee drop into the back of Kerry Von Erich by Greg Valentine. Kerry trying to get to his feet. Greg hooking that leg. Leaning into the leg lock on Kerry Von Erich. Sonny Myers gets a count of 1 on the shoulders of Kerry. Kerry lifting that shoulder off. Greg Valentine in position where he could almost turn Kerry over into a half crab. Kerry gets his boot underneath the chin of Greg Valentine and kicks Greg away. Arm drag by Kerry Von Erich on Greg Valentine. Kerry stretches out Valentine's arm. You know, there is some bad feeling between these two from a recent 6-man tag match. The Von Erich brothers were against Greg Valentine, John Valiant, and J.J. Dillon. And right at the start of the match, Greg Valentine caught Kevin Von Erich, Kerry's older brother, from behind with a kick to the knee. And Kevin was having problems with that knee throughout the match, and afterwards the knee really swelled up on him. The Von Erichs all remember that. Kevin was hot at Valentine, so was David, and so was Kerry. That blast to the stomach made Greg try to catch his breath. Drop kick by Kerry Von Erich knocks Valentine to the ropes. And Valentine retreats a bit to regain his composure. A testing process right now between Kerry Von Erich and Greg Valentine, trying to feel each other out to see where the strengths are, where the weaknesses are. Side headlock by Kerry on Greg Valentine. You have to believe that Jack Briscoe, the new Missouri State champion, and Ken Patera, the man who wants to take that title for the second time, are both watching this match very closely too, because whoever is the Missouri champion after Briscoe and Patera settle their differences in a best-of-3 falls match might well have to deal with the winner of this one between Von Erich and Valentine. Von Erich and Valentine. Brings back memories, doesn't it? Oh, Greco-Roman back body drop. A Greco-Roman back body drop by Greg Valentine on Kerry Von Erich. Kerry in trouble early. Greg going for the pin on Kerry. Count of 1, count of 2. And Kerry shoves Valentine off. Valentine has shaken Kerry Von Erich early in the match. He pounds on Kerry with those burly forearms. A forearm smash to the jaw by Greg Valentine. Those are legal blows. Kerry comes off with a forearm of his own. Kerry dumps Valentine. Body drop right into the knee of Greg Valentine, and Valentine cries out in pain. You remember some of the battles that the fathers of these two had? Fritz Von Erich and Johnny Valentine. I can think back about 15, 16 years ago. And those two nearly took each other's heads off. In history, they say, has a way of repeating itself, and here it is, Von Erich versus Valentine. In this case, Kerry Von Erich against Greg Valentine. Greg really primed for this one. He wants to make his mark in St. Louis, and he can certainly do it today. Kerry twisting the leg. Valentine reaches up for the chin. Manages to hook the arm, and Kerry runs into some trouble. Valentine slamming his leg into the chin and jaw of Kerry Von Erich. Kerry's running into some early trouble with Valentine. Valentine pushes him to the corner, pulls that leg up over the top, over the second rope, and then drives his knee into the thigh of Kerry Von Erich. Greg Valentine working with his knee in the thigh of Kerry Von Erich, and Sonny Myers having trouble getting Greg Valentine back. Well, you know there were none tougher than Johnny Valentine, and Greg has earned a reputation for being every bit as tough as Johnny was.
5 minutes have passed, 15 minutes left.
Greg Valentine yanks Kerry Von Erich into the middle of the ring and then drops his full body weight into the thigh. Of course, whenever you think of Valentine, you think of the Brain Buster, the first man to use the elbow successfully, and Greg follows in those footsteps. But Greg is also proficient with the figure 4 leg lock, so keep that in mind. Kerry knows he's in a war. He fights back against Valentine and knocks Valentine to the ropes. A kick to the stomach by Kerry Von Erich. Flying mare by Kerry. To the air. Oh, the elbow drop misses. The elbow drop misses as Greg Valentine rolled away. Valentine grabs Kerry and pitches him right through the ropes and out of the ring, down to the cement floor. Greg Valentine going out of the apron. Myers warns Valentine to come back, but instead Valentine goes out after Kerry. He grabs Kerry by the hair. Look out! If we're still on the air out here, Kerry Von Erich has been viciously slammed into the press table twice by Greg Valentine, and Kerry is hurting outside the ring. Valentine really just slammed him into that table. He crushed one of the glass cups here, and I don't know that Kerry could possibly even be bleeding after hitting that cup. He hit the bell once, and Greg Valentine showing a real killer streak. He grabs Kerry Von Erich, pulls him up to the apron, bends him backward over the rope, and slams that forearm right into the chest of Kerry Von Erich. A vicious assault by Greg Valentine on Kerry Von Erich outside the ring, and now Von Erich trapped along the apron. Sonny Myers knocked down by Greg Valentine. Von Erich knocks Valentine back, and now Kerry Von Erich tears into Greg Valentine. This crowd going berserk. It's Kerry Von Erich ripping into Greg Valentine. The arm whip to the ropes. Oh, Valentine nailed Von Erich with an elbow smash, the Brain Buster right to the head. Von Erich down and stunned. Valentine grabs Von Erich, pitches him out again. Greg Valentine, a man possessed ring on Kerry Von Erich. Myers going out to get Myers shoved away again by Greg Valentine. The brainbuster misses. The brainbuster misses, and Valentine hit the cement floor. Von Erich pounding on Valentine, battling outside the ring. Myers trying to break it up. Sonny Myers trying to pull the two apart. Here comes the other referee. They're calling for the bell. Valentine and Von Erich in a brawl out. Lee Warren's been hit. We have a riot outside the ring. Warren and Myers trying to pull Valentine and Von Erich apart. Von Erich and Valentine up against the canvas wall. It's a Donnybrook between Kerry Von Erich and Greg Valentine. The referees, Myers grabbing Valentine, dragging him bodily out of the ring. The guard helping to keep Kerry Von Erich and Greg Valentine apart. Sonny Myers, Sonny Myers, you heard it from the referee disqualifying Von Erich and Valentine. Warren trying to keep Von Erich back. And there goes Sonny Myers to make sure they don't get in it again outside the ring. Well, I have to tell you, the building, the studio has been wrecked by Greg Valentine and Kerry Von Erich. Ollie Hofstetter trying to repair the damage. But you heard the verdict from the referee. Both men have been disqualified. Kerry Von Erich and Greg Valentine. Well, Valentine showed us something. He's tough, and he likes a Donnybrook, but Kerry Von Erich met him head on. We'll be back with more in a moment.
Woo. A special attraction, an Australian tag team match, most falls to curfew. Introducing from Portland, Oregon, weighing 257 pounds, Ken Patera. From Toronto, Canada, weighing 252 pounds, Pat Kelly. From Winnipeg, Canada, weighing 247 pounds, Bulldog Bob Brown. From Oakland, California, weighing 252 pounds, Rocky Johnson.
It's most falls. Oh, and Brown knocked right through the ropes by Patera. Kelly's on top of Rocky Johnson. Patera and Brown, they're out on the apron battling. Rocky Johnson whipped to the ropes by Kelly. Johnson to the air with a drop kick. Johnson, a second drop kick on Kelly. Brown and Patera still battling. Kelly dazed. Johnson, sunset flip. Johnson has him down. Now 1, 2, 3. There's the first fall. Do you believe that? Rocky Johnson explodes after he and Brown were attacked from behind, and Johnson still wearing his robe. Then Pat Kelly with a sunset flip for the first fall of the most falls to curfew battle. This crowd is going nuts, and so is Ken Patera. Let's get the time from Mickey Garagiola.
In 24 seconds, the winner of the first fall, the team of Rocky Johnson and Bulldog Bob Brown.
Boy, you talk about something backfiring. Patera and Kelly jumped Brown and Johnson from behind. Brown was knocked out onto the apron by Patera. Brown and Patera started battling on the apron, and the next thing you knew, there was Rocky Johnson flying through the air with drop kicks and catching Kelly in a sunset flip. Johnson still had his robe on, and he pinned Kelly for the opening fall. Now Patera and Kelly really have the pressure on them as we wait for the bell that will start the second fall. Remember, it's most falls to curfew. We could have 3 more falls. We could have 4 more falls. And Patera and Kelly, well, they have to bear down. Johnson must begin the action against Pat Kelly. I bet you that's a record time, says Bulldog Bob Brown. I don't even know if he knew that Johnson had pinned Kelly because he was busy battling with Ken Patera. I don't even know what was the time, Mickey. I missed it myself.
28 seconds.
28 seconds. And Rocky Johnson had pinned Pat Kelly. Now Kelly and Patera are really going to be dangerous. 24 seconds.
24 seconds. Well, after all, the way they were going, I had to get out of it. I couldn't keep time.
In fact, Mickey nearly got knocked through those ropes right with Brown when Patera hit Brown. And Johnson has a little invitation for Ken Patera if he wants to get in. How long do you think it'll take Harley Race to hear about that? Harley Race, who has to quiet down Rocky Johnson. That was one sneak attack that did not pay off. Certainly it did not pay off for Pat Kelly and Ken Patera. Brown's just all enthused about the whole thing. I think Johnson had to tell him, hey, you know, I pinned the guy while you were fighting outside the ring with Patera. Can't beat that. Only got hit 3-4 times. How do you like that, Patera? Yells Brown. Here comes Patera around the apron outside the ring as Johnson is kicked away by Kelly. Backflip. Oh, Johnson landed on his feet. And then he slapped Kelly. Beautifully set up by Kelly, trying to backflip Johnson, and it's all for naught because Johnson landed on his feet.
5 minutes left. 5 minutes.
5 minutes remain in curfew. Brown still all enthused. I keep saying, what a team, what a team. Well, let's wait and see a little bit. Let's net count the chickens before they're hatched. There's still time left. And Pat Kelly is no slouch, and you know all about Ken Patera. Brown still yelling at Patera. What happened to you, he yells. Johnson blocks the punch and slaps Pat Kelly. Don't you do that, says Rocky Johnson. Then he begins to bounce around, ready to do a little boxing if that's what Pat Kelly prefers to do. Rocky Johnson will need all of his skills. All of them. Speed, power, intelligence when he's in there with Harley Race, because Harley Race wants the gold belt more than anything. He wants the gold belt, and it belongs to Nature Boy Ric Flair. And in order to get to Flair, he's going to have to go through Rocky Johnson right now. Patera is tagged with a little help from Brown. Brown wants Patera in there. Come on in, says Bulldog. That's an open challenge. Patera could hardly back down. And so now it's Ken Patera and Bulldog Bob Brown. They had their moments of violence last weekend on Wrestling at the Chase when they were on opposite sides of a tag match. Brown was on the losing side then as Patera and Greg Valentine came up with a victory. Now Patera and Pat Kelly have to open up. Oh, Patera catches Brown with a kick to the stomach and a forearm smash to the head. And then Patera with those powerful arm squeezes Bulldog's head. Nice move by the Bulldog. Knee drop into the elbow of Ken Patera. Patera tries to get to his feet, manages to do so. He's bent forward, and it's Bulldog Bob Brown with the hammerlock. Patera trying to reach behind him for Brown. Tags made to Rocky Johnson. Here comes Rocky. Rocky pulls Patera right off those ropes. The referee's going to make him, or is he? No, I don't think he will make him release that hammerlock. Lightning, yells Bulldog Bob Brown. Lightning, that's what Harley Race has to contend with, and so do Patera and Pat Kelly. Patera, side headlock on Johnson, carries him down. The referee watching those shoulders carefully. Patera spreading the legs, trying to get extra balance so he can get over the shoulders of Rocky Johnson. Get those shoulders down. The crowd begins clapping and chanting, yelling, "Let's go, Rocky! Let's go, Rocky!" How will they be yelling when he's in tough times against Harley Race with all that pressure, with the spotlight of the wrestling world on Race and Johnson, on Greg Valentine and Kerry Von Erich? Arm drag by Rocky! Oh, he took it clear off his feet and way up into the air!
2 minutes left. 2 minutes.
Brown comes over to this side, and just in case Patera has any ideas. And Patera rolls into the ring. Tag made to Pat Kelly. The curfew winding down. Here comes Bulldog Brown. Rocky stalks Pat Kelly because Kelly tried to sneak in from behind. Remember, the only fall so far belongs to Brown and Johnson in only 24 seconds. After Patera and Pat Kelly tried to jump them from behind, and everything went wrong, mainly due to the flying feet of dynamic Rocky Johnson. Brown thrown into the corner by Kelly. Here comes Patera. Kelly hangs on to Brown. Here comes Rocky Johnson flying into that ring. The referee's trying to get Johnson back. Brown still trapped in the corner, but Brown fighting his way out. Trying to at least. Patera and Kelly trapping Brown on the ropes. Brown whipped to the ropes. Oh, and Brown nails Patera with a kick.
1 minute left. 1 minute.
Less than a minute remaining. Kelly and Patera really need to get something going now. They almost had Brown trapped. Johnson got in there long enough to distract him, and then Brown fought his way out of trouble. Side headlock by Kelly on Bulldog. Brown waving his hand out for Johnson. He throws Kelly away, and there's Johnson with a forearm smash. And the crowd loves it. Brown grabs Kelly and pops him right on the forehead. Brown trying to pull Patera into that ring, and he punches Patera on the cheekbone. Johnson nails Pat Kelly. Patera's been pulled in by Brown. Patera and Brown are at it again. Kelly comes up behind Brown. Patera with a knee to the stomach of the Bulldog. A smash to the back. There's the bell. The curfew has expired. The only fall belongs to Johnson and Brown, but they're still going at it. All 4 men in that ring. Brown and Patera battling. Johnson mounting up past Kelly. Mickey Garagiola trying to get into the ring. The headbutt by Johnson levels Kelly. Patera thrown over to Rocky Johnson. And I think Brown and Rocky Johnson have restored order by themselves. The only fall, believe it or not, came in 24 seconds, and here's Mickey.
With time running out, the winner of the only fall and the match, the team of Rocky Johnson and Bulldog Bob Brown.
Was that enough excitement for when the stars came out? I enjoyed it. It was fun. You know, there are only 3 more volumes of classic St. Louis wrestling that are left, and volume 8's right around the corner. It's going to be a dandy. Jack Briscoe, a Hall of Famer, will be doing a 2004 interview with us. Plus, we'll have that classic battle between Dick the Bruiser and Ric Flair when Dick the Bruiser ended up with Ric Flair's robe. That'll be something special. Gene Kiniski on Volume 8. The stars are awesome around when you have classic St. Louis wrestling. We'll get ready for more action. Let's get the dust off. Let's get ready for Volume 8. Thanks for watching today. We appreciate it.
He